And your Eastern Conference champions are the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, I'm actually one of the few who think that the Miami Heat can be dethroned this year, and even in the Eastern Conference, I know a lot of people are looking out west to who's gonna, knock them off their high horse. We're looking at the East. I think this is actually the conference that's going to give them the most trouble. We're seeing the three contending teams being Chicago, Brooklyn, and the Indiana Pacers, with the big men up front to kind of make them pay for being a little bit wing heavy. When we're looking at the Indiana Pacers, we're looking at a lot of talent overall. Roy Hibbert manning the middle, turning into one of the bright young centers in the league. Can be argued he's a top three center already, and great on the defensive end, and really stepping up his game, and let's not put past his conditioning. Put on a lot of weight, and doing his little martial arts for his cardio in the off season. The power forward position, David West and Luis Scola will provide a ton of scoring. Both are a little bit undervalued, and both are capable of putting up 20 on any given day. At the small forward position, I think this really belongs to Paul George, but for now, it's placeholder Danny Granger. Danny Granger was one of their best players for a long time. I think he sees the ticket to another city this year. I think Danny Granger, if he's going to stay on this team, you kind of got to bring him off the bench. Got to be a sixth man, even though he has all that talent. Because I really think Paul George, who we're going to next, the shooting guard position, really is best suited at the three. Even though he has the athleticism to play the two, I think he's best suited at the three. And Lance Stevenson, he's the guy who I really like seeing at that two-guard position. Brings defense, kind of reminds me of an Iman Shumpert type of player, but a really high ceiling. And I think the only way he'll ever get to explore that ceiling is through getting starter minutes. The point guard position, we have George Hill. George Hill, this was, to me, the Achilles heel of last year's playoffs. To me, when this team brought the ball across half court, they were a very dominant team. They were able to feed the post, have guys like Hibbert and West and even George really score the ball at ease. But to me, where they lost, especially to a team like Miami, is their inability to protect the ball. So bringing it from that inbound pass to that half-court mark, to me, if they can shore that up, I think they have it. And is George Hill that guy? George Hill can shoot. George Hill can defend. But can George Hill ball handle enough to keep LeBron James and Dwayne Wade at bay? I know this is a tall order, but I think this is one of those situations that they're really going to have to address. Bringing in C.J. Watson off the bench, nice call, but still. I think if there's one move this team's going to do is push for a point guard. I mean, a lot of people would love to see maybe a Rajon Rondo end up here, myself included, but you may have to give up a little bit too much to get him. So I think if anything's going to happen in the offseason, which I'm going to call right now, kind of won't. I think they'll just play with this because they really like the chemistry. Also, Chris Copeland coming from the Knicks, nice forward addition. I think if any move happens, kind of involves Danny Granger, maybe and George Hill, and to shore up that point guard position. But there's not a whole lot of teams who are going to give you a young starting point guard. I mean, this is one of those teams that if Steve Nash ever decided to jump ship with the LA Lakers, I think he would look really nice on this team. But this is a team I think that's going to contend in the East, and I think is the one team that really has a shot to give Miami, the oust and represent the East in the finals. So I want to know what you guys think. You can comment below or hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, or any of that good stuff. And as always, hoopslounge.com for all your information. So we'll bring plenty more team updates, and we'll see you next time in the lounge.